Everyone, and welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Good.
So today we are talking about the Sacra Folium Law of Sines Robusto. It's 5-inch by 50 ring gauge, and it comes out of the Races Cubanas factory in Honduras. Wrapper is Corojo 99 Viso Seco Jalapa, Nicaragua. Binder is Corojo 99 Viso Esteli and Criollo 98 Seco from Honduras. And the filler is Criollo 98 Ligero from Honduras, Criollo 98 Ligero from Esteli, and Corojo from Honduras. Um, Blended by Boris Grossman and Matt Airy. Price point on this cigar is $9.80, and it was released in July of 2016. So with all the cigar stats out of the way, let's get into pre-light experience. So June, what was yours like?
Um, I thought the cigar had a fairly rustic, kind of a hearty, like a meaty wrapper to it. Colorado Maduro is where I would tag it in terms of the wrapper color and shade. Um, Construction feels pretty good. I got a uniform give to it and a nice amount of firmness. I didn't feel any soft spots. I felt that the veins are well pressed, seems pretty tight. So really nothing that's majorly protruding from the cigar. Head had a pretty nice thick triple cap to it. In terms of the pre-light aromas, on the wrapper I got some dry red chilies and faint cedar. Nosing the foot, got some dry white pepper and some roasted nuttiness. Cold draw, what I typically get are that dry cardboard. I got some saltiness, especially on my entire palate and certainly on my tongue.
Mhm.
And I got some aged cedar. So overall, a good looking cigar, a good um, aromas.
Mhm. Yeah, the cigar had a medium brown wrapper, although it had like it was a shade darker, closer to the foot. Um, there were a couple of visible veins. The seams were nearly invisible, except for the area where the color was darker, and you could just see the color transition right where the seam was at. Um, Two bands, has a primary sacrifolium band on it, and then it has a foot band that's I kind of say it's like a baby blue color that says Law of Signs with white lettering. Aroma from the wrapper was leather with a little bit of sweet hay. Foot had like a mild fruit sweetness to it. I'd say maybe like a plum. Pre-light draw gave me a mix of all those pre-light aromas. So it was leather that was hitting first. Then it was a mix of hay and that mildly sweet plum. And I don't know if you looked at the filler at the foot, but you can see like a ring of a darker tobacco in there. So I'm not sure if you took a peek at it, but
I did
I
pick
just
that
thought it
up.
was interesting.
Yeah, I
And
did pick it up. I didn't say anything about it. So
yeah, and when I saw that and I kind of smelled it, I was almost thought I was getting maybe a little bit of pipe tobacco, so I wasn't sure if there might have been like a almost like a fire cured component to it. But as I smoked, I didn't really experience that, so I just thought it was interesting that when I saw that.
yeah.
So getting into the flavor, first third to final third, what was your experience like?
So when I first lit the cigar up, and after a good toast and all that good stuff, I felt like right off the bat I was able to get a lot of breadth of the flavor spectrum. Uh, Picked up a lot of things. I picked up bread, char, dry cocoa, leather, like a generic roasted nuttiness. I got some dry minerality. Got some slight dry black pepper and oak and hay. So within all those things, I mean, it's a freaking mouthful of flavors. But um, you know, there were good flavors. The only thing that I kind of wished for was more pepper. I felt like within the dryness that I tasted so much of, I really would have really enjoyed more of a spice kick to it.
Mhm.
But luckily, through the nose, I was able to get an amplified version of that black pepper, and really, I would say just the right amount. So, in addition to on the retro of the pepper, I picked up some bread and oak, and on the finish was somewhat short. So right after I blow the smoke out, of my like nose or mouth, I got an immediate pop of black pepper, but that was short lived, and it mainly finished off with an oak in terms of body and strength. And in terms of body strength within the entire cigar, it was just both at a medium.
Mhm.
So moving on to the second, third, and I'm going to group second and last third together because I felt like it was pretty much mirroring each other. So on the second and last third, um, I felt like the flavor was more wood and spice, um, more like let's say plant and wood, kind of a dominant. So the main notes that I got was char, oak, and hay that moved to the forefront. Um, but within those three notes, along with that came with some moderate bitterness. It wasn't like a bitterness in the sense of it was overbearing or unpleasant, but it was just there, you know.
Mhm.
So closely, tailing those notes that I just talked about, dry cocoa, that same generic roasted nuts, dry minerality, and still that faint dry pepper, uh, black pepper. On the retro, same thing, amplified black pepper, bread, oak. And I would say probably the thing that I liked most about the cigar was the retro,
Mhm.
because it kind of gave me the most amount of concentrated flavors um, that I was looking for in any cigar, really. So
Right.
uh, finish, namely dry black pepper and oak, but instead of having that shorter finish like in the first third, in the second and last third, it became more of a lingering finish of these two notes.
Right. Yeah, for me, initial draws brought like a very robust cedar to it. Then a quarter inch in, that cedar settled down and some cream joined in with it. The retrohale was really just cedar at that point. At an inch in, the cedar and the cream were really coming together nicely, just really melded well. There was a slight black pepper finish to it as well, I think kind of similar to what you were getting in that first third. And as the third came to a finish, some cream joined the cedar on the retrohale. And the strength in that first third was just slightly below medium for me. Getting into the second third, there was a nice mix of the creamy cedar and the black pepper. Retrohale was a slightly peppery cedar. And then at a half inch in, that cedar transitioned to more of an oak, and the pepper went away. Pepper also went away from the retrohale, so the retrohale was just cedar as well. At three-quarters of an inch in, I got a little bit of mintiness that joined into the profile that went along with that creamy oak. Retrohale had transitioned from cedar to a slightly creamy oak. And then nearing the end of the third, that mintiness was really just present on the really long finish. And the strength had moved up to just slightly above medium. And then in the final third, profile was oak, a little bit of bitterness. The cream had gone away. And then a half inch in, that creaminess returned to mix with that oak and that slight bitterness. An inch in, cream went away again. So the profile was just primarily oak. That slight bitterness was only present on the finish, and the retrohale was just straight oak, and that's pretty much how the cigar finished out. And that strength level just kind of stayed at that slightly above medium level. So getting into performance, burn and draw, what was your experience like?
Um, I had a great experience with the construction. So starting first with the burn, very good burn. I smoked that Robusto in about an hour and 52 minutes, which is typically right in line with my smoking rate when I'm reviewing a cigar. Uh, Burn line's slightly wavy, and the ashes are slightly flowery, but it's not a big deal. Just being incredibly nitpicky. I mean, this is the difference for me between very good and an amazing
Mhm.
score. So ash marks fell fairly solid in 1 inch increments. Draw, perfect. I thought that it had just the right amount of tug for me, for me to get everything that the cigar had to offer. And for me, if I never have to think about a draw, then that's a perfect draw, and that's
Right.
exactly what this was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had almost identical experiences here. Burn was really good. The burn line was pretty wavy, but it always kept up with itself. It never needed any attention or anything like that. And that first ash didn't drop till like the 3 inch mark for me. So it was just like it just kept hanging on, and I was able to snap my pictures and do things like that all in that first ash. So it was pretty nice. It lends to some good pictures and just shows how well the performance of the cigar was at that point. Draw was same as what you had. It was perfect, exactly what I like. Just a slight amount of resistance to know that I'm, taking draws on a cigar. There was nothing for me to complain about. I didn't think about the draw the entire time that I was smoking the cigar. So just like you said, if you're not thinking about it, it must be really good. So, overall, what were your thoughts on the cigar?
Um, you know, Sacra Folium being so new, I feel like this is a great starter within their four blends that they came out with. It's certainly a heck of a lot better than the first one that we reviewed. Within the singular sample I smoked at the Malice.
Hmm.
You know, so I don't think that this is by any means a amazing cigar. I feel like it is an above average cigar and just a good cigar for especially guys that are looking for new stuff. That's so used to seeing all the regulars on the regular rotation on the shelves and the humidors. So if you want to try something new, I think this is worth your money enough to go grab a couple to try.
Mm.
Um, but I even though I think it's good, there's really nothing that really stands out for me.
Mm.
Um, but the fact that it has such great construction paired with just some solid tasty notes warrants a cigar that I think people should try.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the profile was really linear. I mean, it kind of stayed the same throughout the entire cigar. There wasn't much in the way of changes. The flavors were good though, so that's okay when that happens. Um, Cedar, oak, some creaminess. That's pretty much kind of what the cigar presented for me. And with that profile and the strength level that the cigar had, which is pretty much right around medium, I think any level cigar smoker can enjoy this cigar. So, some more experienced smokers might find it, a bit too linear for them. They might want more transitions or things like that. But I still think it's an enjoyable cigar. And just like you said, I think it's worthwhile for people to search it out and grab one or two to see if it's something that fits their profile that they may want to go buy more of. So getting into the scores, you gave this a 7.20. I give it a 6.87. How do you think your score matches up with your experience?
Good. I mean, I start off with the baseline of good score for the flavors. You add that, you add the great burn and draw to it. It yields a 7, which is a good score for me. So,
Mhm.
yep, makes sense.
Yeah, mine matches up same. I mean, we're really close. We ranked everything identical except for the final third. I was just one notch below you, so I think that, it matches up in the same way. Good set of core flavors, fantastic performance. Really just lets you kind of focus on the flavor and enjoy the cigar. So I think the score matches up well with my experience. So, any final thoughts for you on this cigar?
No, hopefully I go a total of 3 for 4 after we smoke the other 2 points.
There's five actually.
Oh,
So
5. My bad.
yeah, yeah.
Then I need
So
to choose it on by review.
yeah, exactly. So thanks for watching. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. But be sure to check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. And be sure to follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.